Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match of the Toulouse Sevens. This one, South Africa versus Scotland. The winner will take on New Zealand in the 9th place playoff game, which is something I didn't think I'd be saying for New Zealand and South Africa in this competition, but unfortunately both not quite going the way they would have liked to, and it does now mean that we might get to see a match that has been a final in the past, but now it will be for 9th place, although that is one thing that South Africa cannot do, and that is underestimate the Scottish, because they have been looking very strong in the last little while. The last 5 times that these two sides have played, it was in Savard last time, and it was just a narrow win for South Africa. We have got there Crazy NZ in the chat. Hope you are doing well, mate. And we have got plenty more matches coming tonight, including our next game that we will be covering on the channel in about 22 minutes' time, and that is Australia taking on Argentina. But in the starting lineup for Scotland, it will be Jordan Edmonds, then it is Alec Coombs, also Barreto, Farndale, Ferguson, Lee Jones, and Ross McCann in that starting lineup. Then for South Africa, it is Impey Visa, Zane Davids, Pretorius is in that starting lineup. That is Tian Pretorius, Ronald Brown, who has been looking phenomenal in the last little while, Divulge Human, Sawyers Wapi, and Muller Duplessis in that starting lineup. But we will have to wait and see how it goes. And it looks like South Africa, they are wearing a very colourful kit with the South African flag kind of rotated, I guess you could call it, on the front of it, but it is more of the white kit compared to the dark blue that we have got for Scotland. And I'm looking forward to seeing who comes out on top here, because the thing is, New Zealand versus Scotland was actually a pretty even game for a majority of their match in pool play, but South Africa, they would certainly love to go head-to-head with New Zealand in this competition. And if they do win this game, I will mention that playoff game will be taking place at 2:08 a.m. New Zealand time, which does mean we have got action all throughout the night, including the final at 4:26 a.m. It is going to be a late night one, but Craig Chan in charge of this one, 12th match on the series for the Hong Kongian, I guess you call it. He is from Hong Kong. I guess Hong Kongian. Is that what you would call it? No. What is someone called who's from Hong Kong, other than from Hong Kong? Do let me know. But now it will be Human kicking off this match now for South Africa, getting us underway for the first match that we are covering on the channel of the Sevens for today. Nicely taken. And the South Africans, they will be trying to get as much position as they can early on, and it's going to be a good way of doing so. Forcing Ross McCann into touch. Now he does have to release it, and they consider going for the quick throw, but South Africa instead now, they will have the line out. And I'm looking out for Jordan Edmonds here, because he has got pure size, and he has been a very feisty individual throughout the Sevens in the last little while, and as you can be when you're that size and running over the top of people. Now Ronald Brown with the line out. Oh, he was about to go to Impey Visa. It's going to be backtracking there, almost stolen by Scotland, but in the hands of Zane Davids. Now pop up to Brown. Bounce past the Divulge Human, who's taken it beautifully now, looking for that offload instead. Decides that it is better off on the ground. A lot of pressure on Ronald Brown, tackled there by Robbie Ferguson, 40 metres out from the line, and it is going to be the penalty now to Scotland. Once again, South Africa, they have been penalised many times throughout the last few weeks of the Sevens. They've got to try and break that momentum chain of the opposition, just getting penalty after penalty, but now kicking it for the touchline here for Scotland. Does go out by Ferguson, and now about 42 metres out from the line. It will be the opportunity for the Scottish, and also, hey, buddy, South Africa, no doubt. And there says Tom as well. I do see you've got a picture of Tom from Tom and Jerry. Absolutely love that show when I used to watch it. Who's your favourite, out of curiosity? Is it Tom or is it Jerry? Although I assume if you've got a Tom account, have you also got a Jerry account? Maybe scattered away. But currently now, it is going to be a good counter ruck there from Impey Visa's got it back on the side of South Africa, but now stolen back by Scotland, having to work extremely hard there, Alec Coombs. And it is just still on the side of the Scottish. Trying to step in the midfield, unable to get round that defence. And South Africa, for a majority of their time, they do not miss many tackles at all. Now, backline out to Coombs now. Run straight over the top of Zane Davids, who actually kind of rocked his head a little bit there. I'm wondering whether or not, has he got an 8? No. He's all right. I think Zane Davids, he just kind of, as if like shook his head as if to try and work out where the cobwebs were going for him. So hopefully he is going to be all right for this match, because he is certainly one that South Africa will not want to lose, not for just this week, but also London next week is just around the corner. Taking the quick tap there, it was the number 4, Zane Davids. Now looking to link up. It's a nice ball on the inside. As a Tom, I love Angela there as well. Says, oh, that's going to be the first try of the match. Going in, and Ronald Brown goes straight through the middle. And South Africa have been able to get themselves a try. Yeah, I remember I think I still got them like 10 Tom and Jerry DVDs somewhere. And also, I wonder, you're a Tom and Jerry kind of guy. Any maybe Scooby-Doo? You know, that was also one that was right up there for myself. Anything for some reason with a cat or dog that walks on, or not just walks on two legs, I guess one that just does something. No, he gets it. My voice is currently still struggling, as you guys can hear from all of the talking we have done recently. But Ronald Brown did it very nicely there, being able to get the try for the South Africans. And Ronald Brown, he won't be minding that too much. First try of the match, and the conversion goes over from it is himself, Ronald Brown, so converting his own try. And now it does make the score 7-0 in favour of South Africa. The World Human now puts the ball up high. It's going to be drifting in the wind, but it's taken very nicely by Coombs, using the pace, and does try and spin out of that tackle, but is unable to do so. Now Ferguson got the pass on the outside when he does need it, and it's a great step from Lee Jones. Ball on the inside, and Sawyers Wapi has to make the tackle only 5 metres out from their own line. Now South Africa trying to get the turnover, unable to get it though, and now Jordan Edmonds out to Coombs. All they need is Ross McCann to link up one more pass. He does just that, and Jamie Farndale does score it for Scotland. And that is now going to be them back into this contest, Scotland, with a kick to come as well. Oh, did they just say that Zane Davids has got a bit of a knee injury? It might have been, or in fact, was it Zane Davids or was it one of the other men for South Africa who did jump up? Because I did think Zane Davids looked a little bit almost not like himself earlier on. And also, go Scotland cheering for you from Fiji, says Vidiana. Yeah, whoever wins this match gets to play in the 9th place playoff game at 2 a.m. up against New Zealand. So that will be a very exciting game, whether it is Scotland who do go head-to-head with New Zealand for a second time in Toulouse, or whether it is South Africa. And we know the long rival history between those two sides. That is a kick and a half from the touchline almost, and it has gone over. And also, Tom and Jerry got my Academy Award also. This is the first most popular cartoon series. And there, as I says, Tom, but yeah, watched it for absolute hours on end, I believe. Because have you watched a new movie? I know we've talked about Tom and Jerry quite a bit throughout this one, but I feel like it is relevant at this stage, so it's all good. But yeah, have you watched the new movie, and is it any good? Because that is one that I certainly want to see, and I'm not even embarrassed to admit it. But now, Jamie Farndale. Oh, there's a stretcher here. And it looks like South Africa, one of their players, is not looking very good. Hi, brother, after a very long time. Says Lower Jim, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Cricket just around the corner, of course, with England versus New Zealand. The test matches firing up extremely soon. And hope you are excited for those ones. In fact, they are actually playing a warm-up game currently, New Zealand, up against, I believe, it is one of the English county sides. Right, I'm just waiting to see who is actually injured at this point in time for South Africa. I know that it's one of their players. It doesn't look like Zane Davids. I want to say it could actually be Ronald Brown, but I could be wrong. They're watching him go off the field. Is it Ronald? No, I'm not too sure. They're going to say the name soon. They've got to say the name. They didn't say the name. I have no idea who that was who went off the field. I assume soon I will be able to be updated on it, though. No, they're still not telling us. So I guess there is a South African player who went off on a stretcher. We have no idea who it is. It's not the World Human. It's not Impy Visas. Those two are still out there. It's also not Zane Davids. So it might actually be Muller Duplessis or T.M. Pretorius. I think those are my two that I think it could be. Impy Visa. I see now Muller Duplessis still out there. It could be T.M. Pretorius. So we'll go with for now anyway, as I look through the back line to try and work out who it is. But now it's a good kick in behind Ronald Brown. He's going to be using his pace, but Farndale in a foot race. It's going to be flicked up by Ronald Brown. He gets the ball there, but it is Zane Davids who has also fallen down, and it becomes a penalty for South Africa, only a couple of metres out from the line. Now the World Human. Got to take the quick tap by the looks of it. Or does he know? They slow it down a little bit, South Africa now. Ronald Brown, he saw the gap. Fundale did brilliantly to be able to keep up with him and also, hello, buddy. I'm actually a heartbeat. I'm actually Heartbeat. I think you remember me. Heartbeat. Oh. Maybe. I'm trying to think of what your logo was because all I can see now is Tom's face from Tom and Jerry. What was your initial, kind of logo? Because sometimes I know the logo better than the name. Last Sevens? No, not last Sevens, but the Sevens tournament before that, maybe. Possibly. Do let me know. But yeah, as soon as people change their names, I always get stumped well and truly for the early stages. But now currently it is going to be a scrum feed for Scotland. Sitting only 40 seconds left in this first half. And this is a spot in the semi-final up for grabs, but it's not the semi-final that both of these sides want to be in. It is the 9th place semi-final, but it says still extra points on the board for both of them for the World Sevens Series. And that is exactly what you want. I'm just checking to see, okay, they haven't actually mentioned the substitution pretty much at all, but I believe it was TM Pretorius who did end up getting himself replaced there due to that injury. Now it's going to be in the hands of Scotland just inside of their own 22. Ross McCann tries to go straight over the top of Blood. Recently made his debut not too long ago for the Sevens. In fact, it was this competition, the Toulouse League, that he was making the debut. Currently now just hanging onto it outside of their 22 now. Scotland bringing it back inside. McCann trying to link up with the men on the outside, and it looks like it's starting to creep forward just a little bit for them. It is going to be Ferguson. Drag down now around the side, trying to get a little bit of the quick step in motion going there. For it was Barreto, and also we have got there, sorry brother, we are struggling struggling for freedom this days in Pakistan against America regime. Change eruption. Hopefully I've said that correctly in Pakistan. That's why not have been joining you. Sorry for that, says Lavaji. No worries at all. At the end of the day, if there is stuff going on, it is completely fine. If you guys do have time out from the live streams, it is all good. And yeah, I just hope you are safe at this stage. Now Ross McCann, one more on the outside. Jordan Edmonds now going to be using that step, goes round Delvin Blood. And that will be Scotland taking the lead up against South Africa now. And this is trouble at the moment for Scotland, or not for Scotland, sorry, for South Africa, because they currently are not winning many of their games recently, and going near Cape Town, which is happening in only a couple months' time, they will certainly want to be able to find their form by then and go Scotland, says Richard. In fact, sorry, the Commonwealth Games couple months' time, then in about 5 months or so is when we get the Rugby Sevens World Cup taking place on September 9th to September 11th for those dates. Drop kick struck nice. Just away to the side, though. So the score at halftime between these two sides now will be 12 points to Scotland and 7 to South Africa. So Scotland, they'll be pretty happy with that, and they want to try and book themselves a spot up against New Zealand for one more rematch between the two sides. But South Africa, I feel like the digging deep's got to be coming soon. They're missing Selvin Davids, of course, from the injury, but they still got off the bench Branko de Prea, JC Pretorius, Nudovalo. One of these guys needs to find it. That's effing spot on, is what the Scottish man just said in the huddle. The thing is, they're probably just about to apologise for the language being used. But if you're going to go in a Scottish huddle at halftime, there it is. We apologise for some of the language you may have heard. If they don't want the Scottish given a big old speech, you can't go in the huddle with the microphone on a great game or great rugby game. Maybe South Africa win here, says Lawajin, and they were certainly finalists in the last few leagues. Other than, I think, actually, no, they missed out last week, didn't they? And also, you've got there, what has gone wrong with the box, says Gareth. It's a very, very good question. I came here in Bangladesh versus New Zealand Test Series, says Tom there as well. And 12-7, says Lawajin. But yeah, Bangladesh versus New Zealand. Luckily, we got New Zealand versus England. And I did see there was a draw between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka recently for their test match. So yeah, we've got plenty more cricket actually coming up just around the corner. Be sure to stick around for those ones. But it is good to see you again. Do you want to be called Heartbeat or Tom instead? Do let me know. Currently now 10 minutes away is the game between Argentina and Australia And that one promises to be an exciting game, playing off for the 5th place playoff, and then also playing off for 5th place. It will be USA and England. So that should be an exciting game. Although I believe that is the one game that we aren't covering on the channel, as we will have a little bit of a break, about 20 minutes or so, just to regroup, get the voice back, and be ready to go for those next matches, including a semi-final between New Zealand and Fiji for the women's side of things. So it will be interesting to see which way that one goes. But now it's kicked off high from Ferguson, keeping that one in the air for a while. It's a knock-on from South Africa, and now it will be just outside of the 22. In fact, moving into the 22 now. It was Lee Jones. It's a penalty in favour of Scotland for not releasing. Quick tap taken by Ross McCann. He goes in, scores the try, and Scotland have been able to score again. And OMG, Scotland is in the lead, says Tom. And not just that, they have now extended it more. But unfortunately for them, they were asking the referee why it was a penalty against them. Scotland made the most of it. They took the quick tap. And they were both looking over, and then it did end up with Ross McCann going straight through the middle. But like they're saying, du Plessis and Soyers-Wapi both looking to the referee going, why did we get penalised there? And all that happened is that the conversion has gone away to the side, but it is still an extra 5 points in favour of Scotland, now sitting 17 points to 7 over South Africa. They're going to need a big last 6 minutes. I've been saying that the last about 3 matches or so, but it just seems to be half a playoff. The Blitzboks, they've taken it short, and it's gone 10, and because of it, it is Ferguson. He has just got a beautiful try. South Africa were asleep, and because of it, he grubbers it 10 metres, picks it up, straight through the gap, scores the try, and Scotland get themselves another 7. He just saw the gap, and once again, du Plessis just wasn't paying attention, and because of it, that is just class from Scotland. And now Angre all says, David the Mole, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Hope you're excited for the semi-finals coming up between Samoa, that's a lie, or actually, no, they are playing later on, but between Fiji and New Zealand. That will be the one for the women's side of things, and has taken place in only about 50 minutes time or somewhere around there that we are going to be covering. But have you been able to get enough sleep over the last couple of days, David? Hope you have been, and also I'm so conflicted. And there says Gareth as well. Is that because of the last name? Possibly. So it was Ferguson. Now he looks like he's not going to try that short kick again. But South Africa will need 3 converted tries. In fact, yeah, it's just not going well. Taken by Branco de Prea. Penalty this time for South Africa. They decide against taking it quickly, though. And also we have got the Labajin. Are you from Pakistan? And I, Amish. And then also at Gareth. And then you kind of says, David, I've noticed, like, I did some maths before, and it's not good. The maths that I did, I worked out in the past about 72 hours or so. I've had about 10 hours of sleep, which isn't the plan for next weekend. I'll mention we'll try and kind of manipulate it so it's not too bad, and there are actually less games taking place next weekend in the middle of the night, but that's going to be a great kick in behind. Now waiting for it, Ronald Brown. In fact, it's going to be Muller du Plessis. That time it sits up for him, and he scores a try, and that is 1 back for South Africa. Now, could this be the start of a monumental comeback with still 4 minutes left? There is time to be able to score a couple more tries. It was kicked in behind. And also we've got the hoorah, Kiwi, 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 and there says Fiji, and also go, boys. Manu Samoa says Faima Sasa. And they are going to be playing a little bit later on up against Fiji. That's going to be an absolutely incredible game of semi-finals rugby. I just wish I can't even speak. That's how excited I am about that game. But I wish it was an 8-minute match, even though, of course, that's not sevens. But I can just imagine those sides going head-to-head all day, and it would never be disappointing. The most series points available here, it is going to be 8, and South Africa kicked it out on the full, which does now mean that Scotland will have to tap from halfway. So another mistake. I'm South African because I was born here, but my dad was Scottish and mum was Zambian. And there else says Gareth. Oh. So I guess you are a little bit 50-50, aren't you? All right. So I guess as well, question, how is Zambia doing in the qualification process for the Sevens World Cup? Because I know that Madagascar recently did make their way in as one of the African nations. Do you know if Zambia has got a side? And if so, if they're any good? Currently looking to end a 7-game losing streak against South Africa. Their last win was in 2018 in Paris. So they are certainly trying to change up history here. It's gone down in the front row. Okay. They are going to have a scrum reset. Scotland won't mind that. That uses up a little bit more time on the clock with now only another 2 minutes 15 left. It's a scrum. And the ball does go in now. It's nicely taken. Ferguson, one more pass out wide to Jordan Edmonds, getting close to the touchline. Trying to use that brute force that the man has got. Now 40 metres out from the line for Scotland. Step from Ross McCann. Wide cut-out pass. Finds his man out on the outside. It was actually the man who was in the starting lineup, Jamie Farndale. He has done some very good things now. It's going to be the Human. It's a penalty there for going straight over the middle, not supporting his own body weight. And unfortunately, it's just not quite working out for South Africa. Every time they think they're getting back into this game, oh, it's a double blow of the whistle. And also, well, I say Zambian, but mum was born in York, as well, says Gareth there. Oh. Okay, he's unlucky there, DeWalt Human, because I think he almost was able to get that one. But then unfortunately for him, as the ball was getting offloaded up when he was getting back to his feet, it hit his hands, and then that managed to make it go free. But now Scotland from the halfway line, they're looking to kick this one for touch. This will use up a little bit more time on the clock, but whoever wins this game goes on to face up against New Zealand. The loser will take on Spain. And that will be a little bit later on tonight. New Zealand's game, that is going to be the matchup that is 2:08 a.m. And then the game between, oh, actually, no, you don't get another game. Whoever loses this game, their sevens is over for Toulouse. It's going to be taken nicely by Scotland. Now 1 minute and 12 seconds left on the clock, and they won't mind just using their backline as many times as they can. I believe that is going to be the number 13. Who is Sofolaran, who wasn't actually in the initial, I guess, first 12, but he is the 13th man in the Scottish side. Back across. Nice run from Grant Hughes. It's a penalty to South Africa, and they know how quickly they need to try and go with this one. Taking the quick tap. Branco de Prea trying to link up with someone for South Africa. He probably didn't want to go down in that breakdown. Now Suez-Wapi. So Viwe Suez-Wapi, the captain, off to Ronald Brown. It's an advantage in favour of South Africa. Now Nodovalo trying to step his way through. Finding the offload one more. Ronald Brown goes behind Blood. And now it is going to be going backwards. So it's play on for now. Now Blood, short side, 20 seconds left. And I believe now that has confirmed that New Zealand will be going head-to-head with Scotland for 9th place, as there just isn't quite enough time left on the clock. Unless, of course, James Murphy can somehow get himself over the try line right at this very moment, but he's being tackled. His foot, I thought, was in touch, but they have said that it is going to be play on now. 1 second left on the clock. That is the cock-a-doodle-doo, or the final siren. It's going to be deliberately knocked down. Double blow of the whistle, and he is going to be going to the bin there. I believe that was Ferguson. He's got a big smile on his face, though. He knows that his side have been able to make their way through. And South Africa looks at its rebuilding, restructuring, building its depth, the upcoming World Cup position. Its position in the HSBC ladder looks secure. Go Sevens, says Kitione there as well. And that's the thing, South Africa, they are still ranked number 1, and these home nation sides are playing good sevens, says David the Mod. They certainly are. And France are going to be a great example of that, as they are now through to be able to take on Ireland. So the only way, I believe, that South Africa can actually get themselves a win here, if there's even a chance of that, is they need one of the Scottish players, I guess, to clothesline them while they're in the in-goal area. I don't know whether or not it could happen. Would that mean that they get a penalty and also that try awarded? Would that be the only way? But now it's going to be Impey Visa. I wonder if he thinks about it here, Impey Visa. Oh, I think he might have dropped that. I think Impey Visa might have dropped that one over the try line, and this would be going from bad to worse for South Africa at the end of this game. He's got an Aussie weekly, sorry. But what rebuilding? We won all 4 tournaments in the beginning, and last time New Zealand came to beat England. I hope it will happen against the test, says it was Tom there as well. Oh, I think Impey Visa has forced that with the forearm/wrist. So I guess, what does that mean? Oh, that camera's not going to show it. To me, he didn't have a huge amount of control on it, but he may award the try. It was just enough. for Impi Visa, and that will be the try for South Africa, but they do not have any more games of the sevens now, and they will be disappointed. Scotland able to get themselves a victory, 24 points to 19, but now we will be switching over to our next live stream, ladies and gentlemen, which is Argentina taking on Australia. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport channel, which is the pinned comment that I have just put in the chat. Be sure to hit that subscribe button over there. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I'll see you all in a very